Hi, everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for letting me come out tonight to, represent my father, as he's a huge part in my life and, the man I've become today. So, there's not enough words to put out there for, someone like my dad who, he's never faltered from my side. He's there every minute that you need him, and at the end of the day, your old man is your old man, till the day you die. So, with that being said, I grew up knowing that my dad, he was my superhero. And it wasn't just knowing that he was an exceptional athlete and a team player, although that definitely helped, and, but it was the way that he always had my back. He never faltered. He was always there when you need him. You call him at any given time of the day, and he's there. And I think that is really, at the end of the day, what makes an athlete, and a superb business person, and you could apply that to any other aspect of your life. However, we're not here today just to talk about his amazing swimming achievements and everything else that he's done while at the university, but we're here to talk about everything that he's given back to the university itself, through what the university has given to him, and all the accomplishments that he was able to come out of the university with, all the connections that he has, with all the friendships, relationships, and everything that he built while he was here. And he's the kind of guy that when you need him, he's there. He may not be the guy to try to get up, and he may not love speaking in front of a bunch of people, but behind the scenes, he's always there working as a team player, and he's always there when you need him. So that's the most important part that I, looked for when I was an athlete, back at Lexington Catholic in my short-lived career. I took a totally different path, and I went down the road of computers and, securing everything and trying to do all the back-end stuff, because, I looked to my father because he was always kind of the back-end guy and the front-end guy at the same time, and he had a level of experience and skills and things that he learned in the swimming pool here at Transy. And not everybody looks at swimming as, the main sport when you're thinking of Hall of Fame, but it is definitely a sport that it works you to death, and you have to be a diehard to get to this stage tonight. And for that, I'm very proud of him in doing so. Not only did he have fun here, not only did he learn things and build relationships that would last an entire lifetime, but he actually did something that no one else can say that they've done here at the university, and that is, taking the team to their first NCAA Division I win against my own alma mater, the University of Louisville, which is still an unbeaten record to this day. So for that, he's not only an exceptional team player, but an exceptional athlete at the end of the day. The year I was born, my father started his own printing business in Lexington with little to his name and a dream to try and take and make our lives the best that he knew how. However, there's one phrase that I repeatedly heard, and it's, the one phrase that stuck with me in building my own business, getting the jobs that I've had and the experience that I've had at a younger age, and that is, having no other option. So the year he started his business was actually the year I was born in 1995, and he used the skills that he took from the university, the connections that he had, and all of the relationships, and he built a business that is still, to this day, 25 years strong. So for that, that's a whole nother accomplishment in itself, and he uses that to continue building relationships, to continue building the community here at Transy, and to keep giving back to everything else here. But that's a big feat in itself. So he started out his business on Alexandria Drive in a small warehouse, where he used all the skills that he had here to build a business and to give back. And that is a very important part of not only being an athlete while you're here and the points that you rack up and that you score and that you put on the board, but it's about what you do when you leave the university. It's about the people that how you treat people, how you build your relationships, how you take those to the next level when you leave. Because you can score as many points on the board as you want when you're here, but if you don't give back to the university at the end of the day, it's not the same thing as, being an athlete takes all of that. So just for doing that, I'm proud to call him my father. I started out here, at a very young age. He got me involved. He had me, going to all my sports camps. Me and my brother would always go to the lane, basketball camps when we were younger. We would go to the swimming camps. We would go all over the place, and he always made sure to get us back involved, even though at the end of the day I'm a Tennessee Volunteer fan and I went to the University of Louisville. You might say I'm confused, but, I definitely participated in the University of Transy, so everything here tonight means a lot to me, and it means a lot for me to be up here speaking on behalf of him tonight. And not to mention, he met the love of his life, my mother. Without her, I wouldn't be up here speaking on his behalf tonight, and who knows what would have happened. So, if I had to describe my dad in 3 words, I would use compassionate, committed, and level-headed. However, when I was a teenager, my dad taught me the biggest lesson of all, and that was forgiveness, which still to this day, I don't know how he still forgave me. But I remember a time we were in Tennessee down at the lake, we were hanging out, and I said, hey, Luke, I was riding around with my brother, we had four-wheelers and all that kind of stuff. But he said, hey, look, there's a dead fish right there. So we said, let's take this dead fish and let's throw it at him as we're driving by 1,000,000 miles an hour. And for someone who likes to be, cleanly and to upkeep himself, that is your absolute worst nightmare. So how I left there unscathed, and it gave me a whole nother level of understanding and compassion that you just can't get anywhere else. And at the end of the day, I learned a lot from that. So the most important thing he learned from the university, though, and the thing that sticks with me the most, is that he learned to always leave a place better than how you found it, no matter what. And I think he did just that, with him being here represented tonight. So in all seriousness, I wouldn't be here today without my dad. And it's not very often you get to say your dad's your dad, but your best friend and your business partner. So getting to do all those things, for me, it's an amazing honor to be here tonight to represent my dad. And, please join me in welcoming my dad, inductee, up here tonight to get his award. So I appreciate everybody, and come on up. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's a great start. I did exactly what my younger son just texted me. He said, Dad, don't try to be perfect. So I've got that covered. I love this place. I hate giving speeches. But Zack, you made it very easy for me to get up here and give a speech. And for that, I thank you. I couldn't have asked for a better representation of the family. I love you. And I appreciate you. My other son couldn't be here tonight. He goes to school 6 hours away at the University of Alabama, Huntsville. He's a 4.0 student he's a 4.0 student with a study in aerospace engineering. So he had tests this week, and I asked him, please don't come in. This isn't that important. You're holding up the family GPA down there. The last time I saw anything had a 4.0 on it, it was my 40th birthday cake. So please just stay down there. We got this handled. I would like to thank everyone for taking time. I know on a Saturday evening you could be watching sports and having fun and doing other things, and maybe this isn't exactly where you want to be, but I'm glad you're here. This has been an instrumental in my life. I love Transy. I mean, you'll always hear me talking about I love Transy. It means the world to me. When I found out that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I didn't know quite what I was going to get up and talk about. So I called my good friend Parvi. Parvi, what are the good speeches? You've been here. What have you seen that's good or bad? Parvi just gave me a little bit of advice. Dave, tell a couple stories, and by all means, keep it under 7 minutes. So that's going to be my go. But receiving this award it's a great privilege for me. It's been 32 years since I've been here and swimming for Transylvania University. The experience is it's just made an impact in my life that I can probably never explain or pay back. Okay. So anyway, probably the most important person that I'd like to thank tonight is my wife. I met my wife at the Nest. A Nest where we were volunteering, helping individuals. My wife has always been in the field of helping individuals with intellectual disabilities. We just recently sold her a business, and she spent her whole life helping others. I can't say enough things great about my wife. I asked her to marry me 3 months after we met, and I made a good choice. You're beautiful, you're kind, you got a big heart, you're compassionate, you're understanding, you put up with me, and you're smoking hot. Thank you. I love you. I grew up in Louisville, I had 3 sisters. I was the only son of my father. He was a collegiate athlete as well. He played baseball at Bellarmine. My mom was an athlete. I have 3 sisters who took care of me. Dad and Mom always just tried to instill character. And a good example of this was when I was 9 years old. I ran the mini marathon with my older sister, Karen. She was, I was 9 years old. She was about 12. I remember my mother and father say that, look, Dave, if you can't make it, we're going to be there. We'll pick you up. They lied. I ran with my sister 6 miles. There's 5,000 people running. I was 9 years old. She left me. She put me in her desk. It's the last time you ever did it, but you did it. So at about mile 11, my parents, I was done. I said, let me in the car. And they took off on me. Only to find, a couple, 50, 100 yards down the road, my dad got out and he finished the race with me. That day I learned that what it meant to be in Orwick, what it meant to not quit and to always finish the race. I could tell you many other stories, but that one sticks out. Well, that one sticks out for me. I want to thank my sisters for always taking care of me. All athletes in their own and successful business ladies. Suzanne, I don't think you ever beat me in swimming, even though you said it. My older sister, Kim, was a high school basketball player. I know you beat me. And you beat me once, Karen, but it never happened again. So I was a swimmer in high school, and that's where I met Jack. Jack Ebel, and many of you know him. Jack is he's one of the greatest guys and mentors and friend that I could ever have. Jack gave me a partial scholarship. I was the first in my family to go away to college. Jack and I had a lot of good times. Our freshman year, we were terrible. We tried, but we just started swimming, and when we went down to swim Western Kentucky, they put their divers in, and they beat us. But eventually, by the time I was a junior, we did beat the University of Louisville. And some of those guys I swam with, their records still stand today, if you went over and look at the board. Jack was great. We often took a trip after Christmas, and we would go down to Florida, and we'd swim 10 miles a day, and we always had a race in the ocean. That was 3 miles long, and that wasn't easy. And one year, Jack swam with us. And if you know Jack, he was middle-aged, he didn't have quite the swimmer build at the time. And 3 miles in the ocean, if you never swam in the ocean, it's like 5 or 6 miles. And we were swimming against other collegiate teams, and I was so impressed that Jack swam, never got out, was finished, never said another word. But Jack was going to, show us that he never asked anything that he wouldn't do himself. I also remember a time, it was a lesson for me, when I was a sophomore and coach was picking who was going to go to the Nationals. And I thought I was pretty good, and I thought I deserved to go, and I was pleading my case with coach, and I said, Coach, this is why, I think that I deserve to go. And, Coach just said, Dave, there's other people who deserve to go. The upperclassmen have earned this. Your time will come. He said it with grace. He was just like a father. Jack was just an upstanding friend. I couldn't say enough about Jack. Jack, helped teach had the swim camps. My kids were always going there, always coaching. Even when I left there, if there's ever an opportunity that he could send my way, he did. Jack and I still talk all the time. I see him at the tennis courts. He's just the ultimate gentleman, and I can't thank him enough. Another person that played a role, and I respect, and he's here tonight, and it's Coach Lane. I know, Coach Lane, you're back here somewhere, and I'm not talking about Brian Lane. I'm talking about the man out there who's got all the awards on the wall, Don Lane. And Don is he's the ultimate pioneer. Don was he's not just a basketball coach, he's a transy coach. He was great to all of us. And I can't thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough for having a basketball class that I got an A in. I really needed that A, Coach. I didn't get that many. So thank you. And after that, when I left the university and started my business when I was 25 years old, Coach didn't have to, but he sent all kind of business my way. I probably printed thousands of shirts. He kept, diapers on my kids. He was great. He still to this day. So, Coach, you're just, you're my icon. You're my hero. And as I'm kind of running short, I like to just kind of go through and quickly recognize some other folks. Mike and Kara Covert, they're sitting with me tonight. Gwen and Mark Matthews, Brian and Andrea Lane, Natasha, these are all people that I went to school with, and they represent this university as good as anyone is going to. You're from the movie The Notebook, one of those movies that my wife made me watch. You may not know this, but, in there it says you're smart, you're kind, you're important, and that's exactly what this university needs, more people like you. So thank you. Parviz, you're like a crazy big brother. I love you to death. You call it the way it is. You're black and white, and you've always gone to bat for me. I'm sorry that I'm going over 7 minutes, and I'll try to cut it short. I'll try to take your advice. I'll do better. Holly, thank you for letting me be part of this. I know you've gone to bat for me as well, and I can't appreciate and thank you enough. If there's anything I can ever do, I'm here for you. Other folks that I miss is Henry Cook. He is a great ambassador to this university. He was always there to talk to us. He was always there to hang out and mentor everyone. He was in the Department of Public Safety. Dean Thompson, your first class. My teammates, Chip, Dave Knopf, Jay, Van, Eric, guys that made a difference that I still talk with every day. Some of them are just super athletes, super guys, super businessmen, super friends. Some of their times and their records are still standing after 30 years. That's how good these guys were. I had a pleasure to serve with them. So I guess in closing, this is a huge honor and a privilege for me to be recognized with these other inductees who did great things. I love this university. I will always try to make a difference. I can never repay everyone, but hopefully I can pay it forward. Thank you.